Kaijus, what's up? It's your brother Kaiju Kong, aka 2K, emerging from the depths of sweet solitude to bring you some more Sigma, so sustenance. Alright, so guys, before I get into the main topic of today, I hope that during this time, this is another lockdown, at least for a lot of countries, like here in Portugal, we are staying at home. I hope that you guys are still maximizing this time to yourselves, to spend as much time as you can with family, and especially to spend as much time as you can with yourself in the productive means. Don't go thinking of dirty thoughts. So that gets me to today's video request. Well, a subscriber asked me, shout out to you, my friend. I know you know who exactly you are here. I talk a lot about motivation in my channel, or at least it's a prerequisite to a lot of the things that I talk about. Motivation, self-initiative, these things are needed, especially as a Sigma male, to establish your own independence, to be truly free in the world, to truly be a powerful mover in society. You need to have a sufficient amount of motivation, self-initiative. And he asked me, how do I build upon this? So, as I usually do, I always want to practice what I preach. So while I'm going to be talking about motivation, I'm going to be working out right here in front of you. So there's no excuses. When we talk about matters of motivation, it reminds me of a story that happened with my own life. Well, a few months ago, while I was trying to recover from an accident that I had where I broke my wrist and I fucked up my leg, I trained as hard as I could because I didn't want that accident to handicap me from living the fullest life that I could possibly do. My schedule was so crazy that in order to work out, I had to wake up at 4 in the morning and go for a jog. Good morning, guys. 30 degrees Celsius today. Today's the 12th of February. The time is 4:17. On my run now, haven't even finished. And I used to post my stories on Instagram. And so a few colleagues of mine, especially like these girls, they're wondering, how the fuck do I have the motivation to wake up at 4 in the morning and go and work out while the rest of the world is obviously still asleep? Well, motivation is built on habits. Habit comes from, like, the root word of habit is, I forgot what it is, habitere or something. It means to dwell in, to possess, to have. You do it because that is who you are. You dwell in that paradigm. You dwell and possess that identity, that state of being. Like a tiger does not motivate himself to go out and hunt. Why does a tiger hunt? A tiger hunts because he is a tiger. He dwells in the identity of a hunter. Why does a gazelle run away? Why does a gazelle flee? And why does a gazelle flee instead of fight back against the tiger when the tiger's gonna pounce on him? A gazelle flees because that is its habit. It's in the identity, it possesses the identity of a victim, identity of a prey. So it's not necessarily a willingness, or it's not necessarily the willpower to act, or the why, or the whatever, the reasons. It's more because that is what they told themselves they were. The reason why you are not motivated, or you don't have the habits, is because in your head, what you're planning to do, like writing that book, working out, building that business, that action is not actually in line with the identity that you told yourself that you were, if you understand what I mean. Like for me, I told myself that I was not going to be relegated to being weak because of my handicap. I was not going to be handicapped because of my accident. I told myself that I was a person who would rise above the challenges, who will rise above the external circumstance, because that accident was not my fault. It happened outside of my control. And so I was the one in control to give myself that new identity. Working out was just a byproduct. Drinking that gallon of water a day was just a byproduct. Eating healthy every day was just a byproduct. It was easy. If you want to be a world-class athlete or an entrepreneur, for example, there are trains that lead to that goal. So as you go along, the train passes the stations that get to the destination, which is the world-class athlete. Stop 1 is taking care of your health. Station 2 is eating healthy. Station 3 is sleeping well. Station 4 is drinking that gallon of water a day. Because you're on the train, the paradigm of world-class athlete, the train passes through those stations like nothing. You just have to sit back, relax, and let life do its thing. It's going to be ultimately so much more difficult if your identity at the moment is someone who's fat, or someone who is undisciplined, or you're just a normal student or a normal guy. So you're on this train of a normal guy. And the normal guy The station 1 is playing video games, station 2 is Netflix, station 3 is eating whatever is in the refrigerator. Those things are easy. The reason why working out every single day at 4 a.m. in the morning or drinking that gallon of water is harder is because those are stations that are far away, or they're not even on the line of that train that you're riding. In order to eat healthy every single day, to work out, you'll have to get off of one station, transfer a metro line, train lines, and then go to the other one. You see, there's a lot of stress and confusion. It's overwhelming. So motivation, these things are less a matter of willpower as much as it is a matter of identity and just shifting who you are.
This is perhaps the most empowering, the most exciting time of your life, or exciting times of your life, when you can actually have the freedom and the power to recreate yourself and identify who you are, who you want to be, without the confines of thinking about what other people want you to be, what your parents told you you're supposed to be, what society told you you're supposed to be. You can design your future, take on that brand new identity. And you don't have to be just an artist, just an athlete. To be a signal male is like the mathematical sum. I forgot who told me about it, but shout out to you, you know who you are. In mathematics, sigma symbol, that sigma symbol means the summation. As a man, you are the summation of many different things. You are alpha, you are delta, you are zeta, everything at the same time. Like a Renaissance man, a signature man, you get to add and to combine the things that you want to be into that identity of of that best version of yourself. You can be both an artist and an athlete. You can be both an athlete and a philosopher. Pick and choose, my friends. It's the buffet.
In most cases, to become who you should become, or to become who you want to be, you gotta kill that person who you are now, that person who you were before. There's a lot of wisdom in what Bruce Lee says. He said, be like water. You are not your past. Be like water. When water goes into the cup, it becomes the cup. When it goes to the jar, it becomes the jar. It can crash and it can flow. If I tell you to go to that wall behind me and punch it as much as you can, punch it, punch it, punch it, and I tell you, punch it until you create a hole. You're gonna punch it a couple of times, maybe try, and you're gonna say,
man, this is useless, it's not worth it. I'm not doing anything.
That's what you think. But when you see in the larger scheme of things, when you look at the cliffs on the side of the shore, near the beaches, the water just splashes and splashes and splashes, and over 1 million years, tens, thousands of years, you see that it does actually disintegrate, and the water takes over even the hardest of objects. The waves do not crash against the cliff because it has a willingness, or it's because it's driven to crash against the cliffs. The waves do that because that's what waves do. Therefore, to build up the motivation to do something, you gotta take on the identity of someone who does that, of someone who likes doing that.
If you have in your mind that you're someone successful, if you have in your mind that you are a go-getter, on those days where you feel lazy and when your actions do not reflect your identity, your established identity will put you in check. It will tell you, hey, am I a lie to you? Are you lying to yourself? And that's probably one of the most painful experiences that you can experience as a human, when you lie to yourself. So you told yourself you're going to be this, but your actions do not reflect that, at least in the moment. Your established identity, your psyche will tell you, okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of child's play. Go back to who you are supposed to be. Don't let yourself down.
So I hope this helped you, my friend. I hope this helped you guys. And yeah, with that, I still have to work out. I've been talking too much on the camera. Now I have to go back into working out. So I'll see you then on the other side. Thank you very much for joining me, my friends. Stay strong and take care.